How ya doing? We're here with Ginger and Other Creations. I'm gonna play with technically the Zorn palette, doing a nice little bloom. We'll see what happens. Let's go, hey! So while I was making red amber, I kind of decided that the color blocking scheme to put vermilion and yellow ochre in their own little sections was a bad idea. But it worked out beautifully. But at the same time, since I was fully prepared to paint over the other one, I had already schemed in my mind to do a black background and the puddle in the center and blow it out instead of doing sectional color blocking. I think I'm pretty happy with this thing. Look at all the mixing. How do you name something like this? Look at the wiggly, the opal, the pearl wiggly. Got a pearl wiggly in the middle of it. How do you name something like this? It ends up being something floral, I think, but that's so cliched. That's okay though. River of molten pewter. There's gonna be so much shine on this thing, it's crazy. So there it is. Stay tuned for the result. Very simple blowout with negative space. Check this out. Technically it's a Zorn palette, and I'm gonna call it Zorn in Bloom. I had started to try to call it after an orange flower, and I couldn't remember the name of it, so I'm like, that ain't gonna work. So this is what we ended up with. Now I have a little bit of trouble because I've changed I'm experimenting with a new type of wood from the hardware store. It's blonde wood, where I was using Loan. And I like the quality of it a lot better, but it may be slightly less absorbent. And so I've gotten a lot of texture. Can you see, like right up here, I've got defined sections where it hasn't covered smoothly. And I've also got like a spreading wave in that area. I can overcome that just because once I know that I need to watch out for it, I can be more careful with it. I can figure out what actually happened to cause it to a certain extent, and I can get out ahead of it. I do appreciate the lack of distracting grain, which was all I was going to be able to get if I had shopped for what they had on offer that was not completely destroyed at the hardware store this very recently. Let's come in for a close-up and I'll talk to you about that little white chip. You see that little white chip right there? I don't know where that came from, and I have to investigate. I imagine I'm just going to cover it up with a little dip from a paint pen, but that is, I didn't see it before until I got it up here. I don't know if it's a chip. I don't know if it's something that got stuck in the paint. I don't know, but it's this bright white thing that's in the middle of my negative space, and I am not crazy about same. But there is so much going on. All the color mixing, that little squiggly of that pewter. This vermilion looks fantastic in slightly low light. Crazy little explosion. There it is. Zorn in bloom.